Let's review sections 2.1 through 2.4. Number 1, evaluate each function. We're going to take this 3 and put it in for x right here. We'll have 4 times 3 minus 2. And you can do this one without a calculator. 4 times 3 is 12, minus 2 gives you 10. Next one's a little bit harder. I would recommend you use parentheses. Anywhere there's an x, put parentheses. And so just rewrite the problem. Negative 2 to the 5th minus 5 times negative 2 to the 2nd. Look like that. Easiest thing to do is probably just use a calculator at this point. We have parentheses. Negative 2 to the 5th minus 5 times negative 2 to the 2nd. It's negative 52. If you're going to use a calculator, make sure you type it in right. But understand what this means. This means negative 2 to the 5th power. Negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. Next, find the slope. This is where we'll need our slope equation, our slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I think we're pretty good at that now. The second y minus the first y over the second x minus the first x. 6 plus 15 is 21. 14 minus 2 is 12. We can reduce. Both of those are divisible by 3. So reduce that thing, divide by 3, you're going to get 7/4. 7/4. So then the next one, 18 minus 8 over 18 minus 20. 10 over negative 2. Make sure you reduce your fractions whenever you can. That's negative 5. Find the slope of the line. Well, we know that this number right here is just the slope. Likewise right there. Number 7, same directions, count, rise, and run. So I like to start at a point and end at a point. Looks like we go up 3 and right 2. So that means the slope, rise over run. Next one, always start on the left and end on the right. We go down 1, 2, 3, and right 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like the slope will be negative 3/4. Sketch the graph of the line. This number's B, this number's M. We start at the B number. That's the y-intercept, so that's where the line crosses the y-axis. And then give it a slope of 2. You might want to write it as a fraction, 2 over 1. You'd rise 2 and run 1. You only really need 2 points to make a line, but I would probably reverse the pattern and get more points. So down 2 and left 1. I can't hit that point. Down 2 and left 1, down 2 and left 1. Do it several times, enough to make sure you can make a decent line. Number 10, you'd probably want to change it to slope-intercept form. Let's subtract 3x. If you do that, you're going to have 2y equals negative 3x plus 6. Notice I'm writing it in that order because I want it to look like mx plus b. Let's divide by 2 to get y by itself. And then keep in mind, you're going to have a fraction here, negative 3 halves x. And you're going to divide this one. 6 over 2 is 3. So our y-intercept is the number 3, and our fraction is down 3 and right 2. We've got that. That's probably good enough, or you can come up with more points if you want. Write the slope-intercept form of the equation. Well, we just did that one. We're going to convert. So get y equals mx plus b. Subtract 3x over. Divide by the 2 to get y by itself. Look at your fractions. or in this case, 8 over 2 will be plus 4. Next one, they give you the m number and the b number, so this one's a lot easier than it might look. 6x minus 2. Once you get to 13, I always do it the same. Step 1, I find m. Step 2, I write point slope form. Step 3, I convert. So convert, in this case, they want slope-intercept form. That's what the directions say. So convert to slope-intercept for number 13. But step 1, find the m. This is m. Got it, 7/2. Step 2, use point slope form. So point slope form, remember, is y minus the y number. So minus -4 is going to be plus 4. M is the slope, 7/2. And then we have x minus this x number minus -2 is going to be plus 2. Right there. That's step 2. That's point slope form. Step 3 is convert. Now remember my fraction trick. Those of you that aren't good with fractions, let's multiply both sides by 2 so we don't have to deal with that fraction. You still distribute over here. That's going to give me 2y plus 8. And you'll have to distribute whatever's left. Distribute the 7, you get 7x plus 14. Let's get y by itself now. So subtract the 8 over. You've got 2y equals 7x plus 6. And then divide by this 2. Y equals 7/2 x plus 3. 14. You've got 2 points, but we're still going to do the same thing. Step 1, find m. So that's where we're going to need to use our slope equation that we used in problems, I forget, at the beginning. Problems 2 and 3. Or no, 3 and 4. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's -7 over 1. Always reduce. You get -7. Okay, so then step 2, point slope form. I'm going to choose this point. I think it looks easier. Y minus my y number equals m times x minus my x number. They don't need the fraction trick because they don't have any fractions. So I'm just going to distribute. And add this 2 over. Remember where we're going. Directions said put it in slope-intercept form. So remember, that's what we're trying to do. Add the 2 over, y equals -7x plus 16. I'm still doing the same steps. Step 1, find the slope. So since we're parallel, I know all lines parallel to this line are going to have the same slope of -5/2. So there's my slope. Step 2, point slope form. Y minus the y number equals that slope number times x minus the x number. And then step 3, I want to convert. Again, they wanted slope-intercept form, so keep that in mind. I'm going to use my fraction trick again. We can cancel out that fraction and not have to deal with it. Distribute the 2. Distribute the -5. Slope-intercept form, we need to add this 8 over to get, we're trying to get the y by itself. 2y equals -5x plus 18. And then divide by this 2. Y equals -5/2 x plus 9. Number 16, again, step 1, find the slope, all right, but we're not using that slope. We've got to go perpendicular. Perpendicular, if this slope has a -3/2, then my perpendicular slope is going to be the opposite reciprocal. So the slope I will use is the opposite reciprocal, +2/3. Otherwise, we're doing the exact same thing. Y minus y number equals my slope that I'm using times x minus x number. Fraction trick. Again, if you're good with fractions, you don't need to do this, but most of you aren't probably. So let's multiply both sides by 3 to cancel the fraction. We still distribute on the left side. We distribute what's left, or what remains, I guess, on the right side. Add the 3 over. 3y equals 2x plus 9. And divide by 3 here. Y equals 2/3 x plus 3. 9 over 3 is 3. I made a mistake. Hang on. Back up. Back here, when I did -6 plus 3, -6 plus 3 is -3. All right, sorry about that. So I made a mistake. Now I fixed it. Now we divide by 3. Y equals 2/3 x minus 1, because -3 divided by 3 is -1. There we go. That's better. 17, write the standard form. Remember, standard form is this one, ax plus by equals c. So we just need to make them look like that. Well, 17 is pretty simple because all I need to do is move that 5x over. So add the 5x to cancel on the right and move it to the left. We've got 5x plus y equals -6. That's all there is to it. That's standard form. Next one. I'm going to use my fraction trick again to get rid of the fractions. All right, but you got to be careful, because when you distribute, you'll have 2 times 1/2 x, and then you'll have 2 times -5. So even though we're canceling out the fraction here, it does not cancel here, and so just be very careful with that. My fraction trick is going to say 2y equals x minus 10. Okay. Now, I want to get this x over on the left side, so I subtract it over. Don't put them together. They're not like terms. I get -x plus 2y equals -10. Now, the last thing, we're not allowed to have the very first number be negative. So I'm just going to switch all the signs. This one's positive, this one's negative, and this one's positive. Switch them all. Multiply both sides by -1. We're going to get this x minus 2y equals 10. Now, let me show you this again. If I confused you with my fraction trick, what you could have done instead is think about it this way. All right? Instead of this distributive property mess, just think about it as, if I want to get rid of that fraction, I'm going to multiply everything by 2. Multiply by 2, multiply by 2, multiply by 2. That's going to be way easier, I think, for you to do. Don't even think about distributive property. Just think about everything gets multiplied by 2. 2y equals x minus 10. I think that's a little bit easier to think about.